I'm good. I'm good.
So I'm sure you've gone through the survey. What are the highlights in there for you? What are the lowlights in there for you as well?
Okay, so thank you very much once again, and let me say good morning to all your listeners. I have perused the survey, and I think that in terms of the confidence of the public in the new system, I mean the new police authorities, I think is for me one of the high points for me. And if that kind of confidence can be sustained, we can have the police doing what is expected of them. However, there is still a lot that the police administration will have to do in terms of making the citizens feel safe and secure, because you can see within the system there is still what in criminology called fear of crime. That is the tendency for people to feel unsafe because they don't know whether there's a possibility for them to be attacked or to experience any kind of crime. That is what is very high within the system. And for me, that is what the new police administration should work on in terms of reducing the fear of crime and making sure that people are safe.
Now, a lot is happening in Accra, and I would ask this question: do you think that it is trickling down here to Ashanti region where we live? Would you say it's trickling down?
Well, I can see some changes going on in terms of operational strategies of the police. For instance, in the matters of visibility, I'm seeing the police in the Ashanti region having somewhat more presence compared to the past. And for me, that is a very good thing. However, if I look at the other initiatives that have been deployed in Accra, for instance, the use of the K9 units, also these street patrols using the horses and all that, we are yet to see that within Ashanti region. And for me, I know, because talking to my sources within the police at the headquarters, they tell me that, look, they are making plans to get those kind of systems also operational within the region. So I'm sure within the next few months, we should be seeing these kind of units and operational strategies being deployed within the region. And that should send some kind of good news and security for the people.
How about the response time from the police? A lot of people are not satisfied with their response when you call them under emergencies. Why is it that low? Why is it that the confidence in that aspect of the survey seems to be low?
Okay, so let's look at it this way. In fact, generally, when we talk about response time, a number of factors go into what informs the kind of response time that the police can provide. In fact, in other countries such as the U.S., for instance, they said that the average response time for any crime call is 11 minutes. Okay, that is dependent on the proximity of the police precinct to where the calls were made. So that is the average time. However, you can see that at different state levels, some are able to even respond like in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Based on the proximity of the police precinct to where the calls are made. But you see, when you compare that to our system and our society or maybe our country, you can see that a number of factors go in to affect the way the police are able to respond to the kind of calls, when we make in terms of emergency. And for instance, we look at the nature of the emergency. Okay, so if the police think that a kind of call that a person makes to their office, if they weigh the kind of complaints and it is not so high in priority, there's a tendency that they are going to be lethargic for them to respond. And now we also look at the availability of resources. Let's be clear and let's all be honest with ourselves. Our police is not well resourced in terms of, the accoutrements that they will need to be able to police crime. For instance, many of them do not have, cars. They don't even have motorbikes to move around. So there are only few of these vehicles and other, transport facilities that they have that should be able to help them to respond appropriately and in time when crimes are occasioned. So it is one factor that we have to look at. And also the availability of personnel. Let's be honest. If you look at our population and the number of police we have, the ratio doesn't match based on the world population. So the world recommendation of the ratio in terms of police to citizens, so we can see that we are low, in terms of the numbers of the police that are supposed to, police crime across the country. And we also look at issues of the traffic situation. And now let's be clear, the way our society and our streets are configured are not safe, okay, and are not conducive for the policing of crimes. Okay, because when the police are caught, sometimes they have to find ways and means and meander their way through the traffic system before they are even able to get to the location. Okay, and this even brings to mind the kind of location and addressing system that we have. So you see that all these kind of factors, when they converge in time and space, makes it quite difficult for the police to respond. Okay, and these are the things that I think and I know, work against the police in their ability to respond to emergency situations when people find themselves in those, situations. So for me, if we really want to improve their time, I think that we have to work on this. Look, David, personally, I have not been in favor of, let's say, procuring aircraft or maybe helicopters for police. Fine. Maybe if it is for other rescue activities like an accident scenario, that's fine. I mean, in this country, we don't even do hot chase. How many times do we have the police pursuing robbers, using cars on our streets in a hot chase? So, for instance, I would prefer, for instance, the use of motorbikes. I mean, buying them more motorbikes, buying them more ATVs, that's the all-terrain vehicles, where they can be able to move through all the traffic situations and pursue criminals when they spot them, instead of just giving them things like helicopters and all those things. Because the kind of society and the spatial structure we have does not, it's not conducive for that kind of policing. Okay, so these are the things that we have to look at if we are to help the police to be able to respond appropriately to crime situations.
And again,